In your book on tyranny, you write, the mistake is to assume that rulers who came to power through institutions cannot change or destroy those very institutions, even when that is exactly what they have announced that they will do. Explain this quote's relevance to America right now as we head into President-elect Trump's second term in the White House.
Yeah, it's completely normal for aspiring authoritarians to try to win elections and then get inside the system and make the system less democratic. We have to remember that democracy is a matter of the spirit and a matter of the future, and not just a matter of the outcome of a given election.
A lot has been written about people voting against their own interests. In a place like San Diego, where the cost of rent and childcare are sky high, the median price of a home is up to 9 times the median household income, and we have some of the highest electricity rates in the country. Are people who are just struggling to get by more apt to know their interests and vote accordingly under these conditions, or are they even more susceptible to manipulation and possibly tyranny?
In order for people to make good choices about the future for their children and themselves, they have to have a certain level of access to shelter and food. They have to be able to live in a decent way. And so the people who are trying to undo democracy, it will turn out, are also the same people who are trying to make lives harder. And I'm afraid we're going to see a good deal of that in weeks and months to come.
We reported recently that thousands of Democratic voters in some of San Diego's poorest communities either sat out the November election or voted Republican, many citing the high cost of living, pretty much echoing what happened elsewhere in the country. If Trump goes ahead with promised tariffs, the prices of groceries and other goods will go up. How do you expect those voters and Wall Street to react? And what might resistance look like?
Yeah, I think I mean, that's the key. If you want to oppose this, you have to have an alternative to it. You can't say, "Oh, look, we told you so back in November of 2024." You have to say, "Look, if we win next time, if our group is in power, this is what we will do." You have to have some kind of a vision. If it's just about the past, you're going to get trapped and you're going to lose. The fact that Trump is going to make a lot of people miserable, which he will, is only good for the opposition if the opposition is ready to say, okay, we have something that's better than 2024 for you. You can't get trapped in competing about like which past you're going back to, Trump the 1930s and the Democrats 2024. You have to have a vision of the future where people can say, oh, okay, I now see it. The penny has dropped. I understand how, if I vote for you guys, things might change for the better.
Do you feel like Democrats have a vision for the future?
I think the Democrats are trapped by Trump because what Trump forces them to do is to simultaneously be the party that defends order and be the party that has a vision for the future. And that's a tough role to have. Now that Trump controls effectively the Supreme Court, both houses of Congress, and the executive branch, the Democrats have a chance to be that party of the future. So I think it's a chance they have to seize, especially in the next 6 months as the contradictions of the Musk-Trump program start to reveal themselves. The Democrats will have to take advantage of those openings. I'm not saying that they can or they will. I'm saying that like that will be the time for new people to profile themselves.
Elected officials across San Diego County say threats against them have gone up dramatically in recent years. Some of that intimidation came through social media. You have said social media is set up for disinformation and drives people to do things that are anti-democratic and against their own interests. How optimistic are you that these platforms will get regulated, given that big tech, appears to have Trump's ear?
Yeah, I mean, I would add to your list anti-human. The algorithms train us to react negatively to other humans and to treat humans as enemies. I think the fundamental problem is that they are anti-human in that basic sense. And if you're anti-human, then you can't be pro-democratic. You can't be pro freedom. I'm not optimistic. I'm sad to say about that at all. We've let ourselves get to a situation where there are too few platforms, and those too few platforms are too unregulated. The hope would have to come from citizens who who unhook themselves but also from school districts and states who choose to enact policies that allow young people to at least have time at school, which is away from the screens.
Professor Snyder, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
My pleasure.